my friends from Jamestown, New York. Is there anything you could see first thing in the morning as joyful as that it put you in a great mood? I can't even think of anything more happy than that crowd right there. The Mertzes, the Ricardos. This is gonna be a great day. I can tell you that right now. We're in Jamestown, the home of Lucille Ball, and we're going to the Lucy and Desi Museum. Daze with Jordan the Lion and Joster begins right now. I love Lucy. Good news, it's a boy. I mean, it's open. And here we are. Long awaited trip. We're finally here to see the Lucy and Desi Museum. As soon as you walk in, they start talking about the television radio history. Lucy, I'm Home by 1950. CBS was eager to turn My Favorite Husband into a TV sitcom starring Lucy and Richard Denning. Lucy, however, insisted CBS cast Desi Arnaz, her husband of 10 years, as her TV husband. At first, the network refused, insisting American audiences would never accept a Cuban married to a real American girl. Lucy insisted, no Desi, no Lucy. And here's Lucy doing My Favorite Husband on the radio with Richard Denning. And they also have the Studio A door here from Columbia Square, where the network headquarters was. So cool to see. She would have actually went in through that door. Studio A was the largest studio at CBS, accommodating 1,050 audience members. There she is right in front of the door. So cool. And then part of Lucy's stage act, when she would work with Ricky, was her professor costume. This big baggy costume that she would wear around. Cool to see that too. I'd read about that. When they couldn't get anybody to let them work together, they would go on the road doing these shows. There they're showing her wearing it. While Ricky's band would play, she would be bumbling around as the cello player. And that's the same costume that she wore on the audition episode of I Love Lucy. Now on this side they have a bunch of costumes and memorabilia, and then on here they recreate the apartment. Both the New York apartment, which was right here. How cool is that? And they also recreated the Hollywood apartment. That is so neat. So neat. Lucy, I'm home! And here's the television in the living room of their apartment for 168 episodes. It's so cool that they made this an experience that you can pay and go take photos anywhere you want in the apartment. And then here it says they lived at the fictitious address 623 East 68th Street. If you looked up on a map, you'd find it was Manhattan's East River. They lived in 2 different apartments in this building, which was owned by their best friend, the Mertzes. Many of the original props and set pieces used on the show have been lost or destroyed. What you see here is a careful recreation of the apartment that they moved into May 18th, 1953, episode 61. The Ricardos change apartments. God, that's so cool. Not the official original set, but an amazing recreation. Right here they have Lucy's ukulele, where she played the song Has Anybody Seen My Gal in 3 episodes of I Love Lucy. Now over here they have Lucy's Sally Sweet costume. After starring in the 1946 film Cuban Pete, Desi Arnaz adopted its title tune as his signature song. When Lucille performed the song with him, the Sally Sweet character joined Cuban Pete in a comedy duet. Her hat and her shoes, purse. And then over here they have Desi's conga drum case and conga drum, and his Cuban Pete hat. as well as his music, his sheet music. You can see right on the top it says DESI ARNAZ. Here they have Ethel Mert shoes from Women from Mars. Kitten-heeled shoes in the Lucy is Envious episode. So she was wearing these shoes when she was dressed in that outfit. Now here, this costume, it says her Stone Martens. Lucy Ricardo wore these Stone Martens in multiple classic scenes, most memorably when she posed as Isabella Frump, an average housewife taste-testing Aunt Martha's old-fashioned salad dressing. Oh, that's awesome. Says she wore it in at least 3 episodes. There are the shoes and the earrings. There's the infamous fan, the Westinghouse fan, that Fred Mertz turned on and sent feathers flying all over the house after they had just painted it. The episode was called Redecorating the Mertz's Apartment. You can see the fan right there and right there. Then here they're showing another photo of the Women from Mars when they went out on Empire State Building, and they have the belt that Lucy's wearing in this. And that's it. She was ahead of her time with this one. Wear that about 10 years, 15 years later and you'd have been in high fashion. Lucille Ball rehearsed for a week in order to learn how to perform the song Glowworm on the saxophone for Ricky's band. That's awesome. She was a writer's dream. No matter what we asked her to do, ride a lawnmower, jump on a trampoline, walk on stilts, she never said no. Just give me a few days to learn it, they said about Lucy. Now there's the the burlap dress. During the trip to Paris, Ricky and Fred hoped to teach Lucy and Ethel a lesson about tricking them into wearing burlap sacks in public. The plan backfires when the design becomes the latest Parisian horticulture. And there's the hat. That was a great episode, making them think that they were going to be very fashionable by wearing this, and then they actually did. Now here they actually have Lucy's Queen of the Gypsies necklace from the operetta episode, and a picture of her wearing it there. She was portraying Camille, the snaggletooth Queen of the Gypsies, in the operetta. Ricky, Fred, and Ethel memorably performed the role of Prince Lancelot, the good Squire Quinn, and Lily of the Valley. And see, if you pay $10, you can actually go get your photo taken anywhere in the apartment that you want. You just have to go tell them at the front. Now here's Lucy's floral hat while she was eating escargot at La Porte Montemar street cafe in Paris. She was wearing this hat. That's so cool to see. This was Pepito Perez's miniature bike from the pilot episode of I Love Lucy and Lucy's Showbiz Swan Song. Pepito was a good friend of hers, and he rode this miniature bicycle in his internationally renowned clown act. And there's Pepito. Pepito's lion tamer costume and his clown costume on display. They have a photo of him on the Showbiz Swan Song episode wearing these. Right here with Ricky watching on. There are his clown shoes and his whole clown costume. And his clock and cigar. And there he is wearing that same costume in the same episode. Now that says that is Little Ricky's costume. Keith Thibodeau played Little Ricky in 23 episodes. And here they have Fred Mertz wearing his hippity hoppity frog costume in Little Ricky's school pageant episode, and they have part of the costume here. See, there you can see the hands and the feet that Fred would have put on. They made for him. William Frawley, I mean, but character Fred Mertz. But that's not all, friends. They have the frog mask. How cool. The story is that Gil Gordon is originally who Lucy wanted for Fred Mertz, but Gil was already contractually obligated elsewhere, and William Frawley contacted Desi and said he wanted the part, and Desi said, "You got to prove to me that you can stay sober. First time that you're drunk on set, you're gone." And he did it. And Vivian Vance, who worked with Lucy even after I Love Lucy was done, and Desilu. Now this is great. They have the exterior door here, and when you go around the corner to the Hollywood section, and boy are we ever. The Ricardo's hotel room. Once they moved, boy did things get more modern. Recreates the suite at the Beverly Palms Hotel in Hollywood, where they lived, the fictitious place. Lived in this suite for 18 episodes. Isn't it cool that they went to this extreme? I love it when places do this. They do it in the town from the Andy Griffith Show, where Andy Griffith grew up. They've turned it basically into Mayberry. I love that they give you the opportunity to really feel the New York apartment and the Hollywood hotel room. And one of my earliest vlogs was walking actually up Vine Street, which is what's in the background there, and you can see the Broadway Hollywood, and showed us that sign in person that you see out their window. Jackie Gleason used to live there. Doris Day's first apartment in Hollywood was there. Frank Sinatra used to get his hair cut there. So crazy to, after all these years of seeing these episodes and seeing this show, getting to kind of really feel like you're on set. So this is showing a filming day and the cast and crew and how they would do the multi-camera shoot. And here, long lost for a long time, they found the custom editing machine that they used to edit I Love Lucy, nicknamed the Three-Headed Monster. Here they have some of the bongos and one of the pressings of Ricky's band, and they're saying that even though the Tropicana Club was fictional in the show, Desi's band was really the band in the show, the DESI ARNAZ Orchestra, and they were a famous orchestra, very popular, and they would perform live on the I Love Lucy soundstage. And this is saying that Lucy was actually naturally a brunette, but when she came to Hollywood, she was platinum blonde, and she dyed her hair red in 1943, and she was nicknamed Technicolor Tessie, and considered to be among the most photogenic actresses in Hollywood then. Her hairdresser, Irma Cousley, worked with Lucille Ball for over 4 decades. She used a special recipe to achieve a tone that she called golden apricot. Some of Cousley's ingredients included a jar of balsam ported henna, artichoke cut wigs that Lucy wore in the beginning until the early 60s. And that's one of the wigs. And these are the things that she mixed to make Lucy's special hair coloring. Here's Irma working on the wig. This was called the Live Like Lucy bedroom set, and there was a designer, Johnson Carper Furniture Company, in 1953 that actually made this available, that you could buy the Lucy bedroom set. Furniture shown here was Ricardo's on-screen bedroom from I Love Lucy, but since censors would not allow Lucy and Ricky Ricardo to share the same bed, the set on the show featured 2 separate twin beds. And there's the ad for it. But if they had twin beds, how are you really living like Lucy? I mean, there's Ricky Jr.'s little crib and stroller and stuff, and his rocking horse. I don't know. Clever way to make money, but... And here's a model of the set. So you can actually see how they filmed, where the fans would sit. You can see kind of the bleacher seating and everything right here. And then how they would have laid out the show. So there would have been the Tropicana Club where Ricky would have played with his band. And then over here would have been the kitchen and living room set up right there. You can see the kitchen right in there, and the living room. And then it would have been their bedroom, and then little Ricky's room. That's very cool. I love they have this in here. It gives you a lot of perspective. And of course, as you go through this, they're showing classic episodes for you to enjoy. And what would be complete if they didn't have a place for you to cut your own Vitamin to Vegemin commercial right here. They give you the script right there, and then right there you do it. Now there's actually two parts to this museum, so we're going to the second building now. By way of the amazing gift shop, they have just absolutely incredible stuff here. How can you not want Desilu stuff? How can you not? I want some. I'm getting some. This stuff is great. You can even buy a grape crushing costume. Oh, this is great. Season's greetings from the Ricardos. This place is just amazing. All the stuff they have. Now to the next building. So now as we walk in here, we have Lucy and Desi's personal belongings. Lucy is wearing that necklace in that photo with Desi. There's her monogrammed luggage. LBM. Beautiful painting of her. Her jewelry. A childhood picture of her. And over here, Desi's suit jacket and tie, and a painting of Desi. Came from a very good, wealthy family. Cuba until everything politically changed. Is it a whip? Here's a horse racer. That would have been a horse whip. So in here we have quite a few items. The Phoenix wheel that stood in Celeron Park. It's a replica of it, and that was something they actually ended up living in Celeron. And it says those are Hunt family skis. Her grandpa, found in the attic of the home in Celeron where Lucy lived with her grandpa. Then the piano here, and it says the desk were at the Celeron school during the time when Lucille Ball was there. A lot of what's in here is stuff that you read, and I know you guys want to see mostly stuff that is memorabilia. That's a portrait of Dolores, Desi's mother. During the early years of their marriage, Lucy performed in numerous films and radio shows, while Desi toured the country with his orchestra. The problem worsened when the coming of World War II, when Desi was drafted into the army as a combat entertainer. Here they are getting married, cutting the cake. And it doesn't say, but I'm guessing this was their china or wedding china. Really makes no mention other than just showing them serving. So I'm assuming that was theirs. It says here within 6 months of its premiere, the highest rated show in the country with 11 million families watching each week was I Love Lucy. The show earned 24 Emmy nominations and 5 wins. And then here's one of the awards that it won also. Family portrait. Here's one of Lucy's blouses and her chair And her backgammon board. She loved to play backgammon. And the letterhead even says Lucille Ball Backgammon Tournament. Now this case is all dedicated to her playing MAME. Has a bunch of her costume and things that she wore in the production. She was very well known for that. The tuxedo, the velvet dress. There's her script, wig, and cigarette stick. As well as her top hat and whip. And the shoes. 1974 movie spectacular. Final feature film, MAME. And then right here they have Lucy and Desi's home movie projector. Wow. That's really cool. At the Beverly Hills home. Now in this case they have a couple of her wedding dresses, but not her actual wedding dresses. The one on the left is from Yours, Mine, and Ours. This one right here, along with the hat and the flowers down here. And then the Forever My Darling, or Forever Darling wedding gown is right here that she wore. Technicolor Tessie. And originally she was the Chesterfield girl too. Now this is her costume from Circus of the Stars. That's really cool. They have a picture of her wearing it. Look at everything they have. Two top hats. Umbrella. There's her costume. Now look at all of this. Holy moly. Here they're showing Liz and Lucy's rings and them wearing them. This was Lucy's Victorian dress from the Lucy show. In the episode Lucy Helps the Countess, she wore that. That is the hat that Desi wore when he hosted Saturday Night Live, which I absolutely remember. When they did reruns of that on Nick at Night, I saw that. There's the hat. And a picture of him wearing the hat up here. And then that is the Rhett Turner costume that she wore in There's No Business Like Show Business on Donnie and Marie. Huh, 1977 she wore that. It's a pretty crazy outfit. This she wore on The Tonight Show when Joan Rivers hosted. And there's actually a photo of them up here together from that show, signed. And Lucy's wearing that. This yellow hat is what Lucy wore when she did the Lucy in London. This she wore on Donnie and Marie also. And then this dress was, Carol Burnett did a special called Carol Plus 2 with Sarah Mostel. And Lucy was actually her mentor, and Lucy was in that, and they both wore these. So I'll show you a picture of Lucy wearing this with Carol on that special. And her Carol 2 script. Here they have Lucy's famous Charlie Chaplin costume. That was a really, really great routine. I have a picture of her wearing it there. They have the wig and the mustache and the hat right here. The tramp shoes. How cool is that to see? That's so iconic. And here they have a couple of her gowns. It says that she wore this one on the left with Bob Hope for one of his specials. And then the blue one was created by Rhett Turner. We can see her wearing this in this photo. So this was Lucy's rabbit outfit, her bunny ears and everything from when she did the Lucy show. And she did the Lucy Gets Mooney Fired episode. She wears these after she watches the movie Gaslight. And look at all that. All of her stuff, her traveling road case. And stone pillow boots. TV film called Stone Pillow. She played a homeless woman living on the streets. And there's a photo of her. Talk about versatile. Some Desilu equipment. Oh, that's amazing. They have Lucy and Desi's chair from the set. Wow. Here they have Lucy's Mercedes. How cool is that? Wow. Now she did actually have a chauffeur, Frank Gorey, that always drove her, but people could be seeing Lucy riding all over Beverly Hills in this car. And then here they have Desi's office chair with his briefcase over here. And an ashtray, of course. And then his robe. And his bathrobe right here. And a picture of Lucy from The Office. You can actually see this machine in the picture with her on her desk. And then we get to see the Emmys.
I love you all very much. Thank you.
The museum was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but I want to see a couple of the murals in town before we wrap it up. Here we have the Little Theater, known as the Lucille Ball Little Theater. It's kind of a nice homage. Forever linked to the heart. And right next to the theater, they have a plaque that says birthplace of Lucille Ball. First Lady of Comedy. So this is kind of nice. They actually have a mural to the Lucy and Desi stamp up there on the wall here in town. Then as we take a left from there, you see the Vitamita Vegemin right there on the parking garage. How cool is that? In fact, it looks like they're touching it up. Look at that, they're working on it. Doing something to the bottom anyway. They are definitely proud of Lucy in this town. You gotta hand it to them. They really take pride in Lucy. I feel like I'm watching I Love Lucy right now. And then this one they told me about at the museum. They said if you don't know about it, you can very easily miss it. It's tucked between two buildings. The famous chocolate factory scene. That's a great one. What a great town. I can't wait to come back. There's definitely more Lucy history here to see. We just have to be somewhere tomorrow, so this will be it. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed all the vlogs that we made in Jamestown. It's a great little town. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you get to come enjoy it yourself someday. If you're new here, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please ring the bell for notifications. We will see you all next time from somewhere else. Have a great night, and goodbye.